If we're honest, how mindful are we at work? When we're typing emails, are we aware of our body? Perhaps there's a slight hunching forward of our shoulders, or a clenching in our jaw, or even perhaps a slight tension in our stomach. When we complete tasks, are we truly present? Or are we allowing our minds to wander back to what was said in a previous meeting, or feeling anxious about the next one? Are we constantly interrupted and distracted by email notifications and text messages vying for our attention? These days, it seems like every magazine, celebrity, and corporate wellness program is promoting mindfulness. Is mindfulness a buzzword, or is there substance behind it that's worth exploring? I would like to propose that mindfulness is our superpower for the 21st century. Mindfulness helps us to manage the stress and complexity of today's hyper-connected workplace. So I ask you again, how mindful are you at work? Can I invite you to take part in an exercise? If you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being super mindful, let's think Deepak Chopra, and 1 being not mindful at all, let's say the cartoon character Roadrunner, where would you rate yourself? What number comes to mind? You got a number? I love what Robin Sharma says. He says, clarity precedes success and awareness precedes transformation. So this rating you gave yourself is your starting point to work from. Why has mindfulness become so important in the workplace? According to the latest 2022 McKinsey Insights, across the globe, 4 out of 5 HR leaders say that employee well-being and mental health have become a top priority for their organization because of the significant rise in anxiety, depression, and burnout, which is leading to absenteeism, low engagement, and a decline in productivity. Research shows that employees are more stressed than ever. According to a survey conducted by LinkedIn, nearly half of workers today feel stressed in their jobs, many of them attributing it to their workload and their work-life balance. The 2022 Corporate Gallup survey reports that 28% of employees feel burnt out very often or always. For many people, the workday is spent dealing with multiple meetings, constant deadlines, and other distractions, all competing for our attention at the exact same time, which is why so many of us inevitably resort to multitasking to get through the day, answering emails while in virtual meetings, going to the bathroom with our phones in our hands, eating lunch while completing online training, and scrolling through social media while we wait in the coffee line. We've developed habits of what I call always being on. The workplace asks that we perform at our best, that we get along with colleagues, that we delight customers, that we impress management. It's so easy to get tangled up in this web of pressure, stress, and multitasking, which can lead to us constantly feeling tired and anxious, which we all know impacts our well-being, our productivity, and just our enjoyment of work and life. And that's where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is being consciously present in what we're doing while we're doing it. Neuroscience provides compelling evidence that mindfulness contributes to enhanced employee well-being. A study conducted by the Stanford University School of Medicine showed that mindfulness reduced stress-related symptoms by 30%. While various other research findings indicated that a regular mindful practice contributes to increased focus and productivity, in some cases by as much as 120%. Tal Ben-Shahar, a Harvard happiness professor, uses a powerful analogy. He says, life is like a complicated jigsaw puzzle. If you were starting with a 1,000-piece puzzle, you'd start with the corner pieces first because it holds everything together. And for him, his corner pieces were sleep, exercise, gratitude, and mindfulness. The middle of the jigsaw puzzle represents everything in life we can't control: war, pandemics, rising inflation, ... But when we apply our corner pieces, we're able to expand our bandwidth as well as our coping mechanisms to be strong and resilient, regardless of how tough the environment is. I would like to propose that we need to make mindful practices the corner pieces of our daily work routine. Let's get practical. How can we be mindful at work? Because I love what I do, I often tend to take on too much, and I'd find myself dancing dangerously close to this line of feeling constantly tired and a little bit burnt out. And I want to share 3 ideas with you that have significantly helped me to come back to being a human being and to stop being a human doing. And the first idea I want to share with you is what I call a hero's minute. Picture this. You open your laptop, you've got a bunch of unread emails, and some of them look urgent. There's no time to respond because you've got a 9 a.m. meeting that you still need to prepare for. Your manager's trying to get hold of you, never a good sign first thing in the morning. You've got an issue with one of your projects that you haven't been able to figure out how to resolve. Your to-do list is never ending, and Bruno's at home with a sore eye that you think might need the vet's attention. How are you feeling? Anxious? Stressed? And then you take a minute. And this is what I call a hero's minute. For 1 minute, you focus on an affirmation and roll it around in your mind over and over. Even though you think you don't have the time, you set your phone timer for 1 minute, and for 1 minute, you focus on an affirmation and nothing else. You could use an affirmation like, "All I need is within me now. All I need is within me now." Or any affirmation that resonates with you, that brings you back to your center and makes you feel resourceful and able. In fact, if you're willing, let's try this out now. I'm going to time us for 1 minute. And for 1 minute, I invite you to think an affirmation over and over with your complete attention. And for the purpose of this exercise, let's use the affirmation, "I can do this." Now, the key is to combine your breath with your affirmation. So every time you exhale, thinking, "I can do this." And every time you inhale, thinking, "I can do this." And it's important that you start on an exhale. We often tend to want to start on the inhale, but starting on the exhale really grounds you and helps you to release stress. So I will invite you and welcome you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And let's start. Exhaling. "I can do this." Inhaling. "I can do this." Continue in your own rhythm, and I'll let you know when the minute's up. And that is a minute. How do you feel now? Like you've gone from anxious and stressed to calm and centered? From this foundation, you've set yourself up to go out and do some of your best work. You've increased your resilience and your resourcefulness. In just 1 minute, you're able to get present and be your own hero. When you take a hero's minute at work, you've successfully implemented mindfulness into your workday. In addition to the hero's minute, there's 2 other ideas that I'd like to share with you. And this one is for all the email ninjas out there. And it's what I call e-blocks. Now, I don't know about you, but my colleagues and I often complain about email overload. It seems like as soon as we've answered all our emails, if that's possible, we immediately avalanche by another wave of emails, all needing our attention. Email overwhelm is a real thing. You know that sinking feeling you get in the pit of your stomach when you're coming back from holiday or a long weekend away and you think about all the emails waiting for you in your inbox? Before you know it, it can also become addictive checking your emails every few minutes. I propose, instead of checking your emails constantly throughout the day, set aside 2 or 3 blocks of time where you only check your emails in a fully present and mindful way. And the rest of the time, your Outlook is closed. This is a game changer. Instead of letting emails bombard every minute of your entire day, be intentional about how and when you check your emails. And notice how much more present and less stressed you are. The third and final idea is what I call cell phone quarantine. Now, you know when you're in a relationship and they say, it's not you, it's me? Or they say they need some breathing space? Well, I encourage you to be like that with your cell phone. Our cell phone relationships can sometimes be a bit obsessive and clingy. Let's face it, research shows that the average working adult checks their cell phone once every 4 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong. Cell phones are an incredible resource and productivity tool, but they can also be one of our biggest distractions and stimulants so that we never fully unplug or are truly present. One of the ways I like to manage my cell phone relationship to allow for some healthy boundaries is that when I take lunch, I put my cell phone on airplane mode and I leave it in my drawer so that I'm not tempted to scroll through social media or respond to messages while I eat. And this is what I'm speaking to about when I say cell phone quarantine. It's a great way to be more present and mindful. There are lots of ways to be mindful. I hope that these ideas of a hero's minute, e-blocks, and cell phone quarantine have sparked your thinking on how you can successfully incorporate more mindfulness into your workday. Mindfulness is our superpower, or should I say, corner piece, to managing the hyperconnectivity and increasing demands of the workplace. Here's to your well-being and your productivity. Thank you.